Okay, welcome to the Feminist Roosterteeth Podcast. This is our second podcast, and today we've got with us Allie.
Hi.
Hodgins.
Hello.
And Sam.
Hi there.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Woo! Yeah, Happy New Year. Woo! Recording this on New Year's Day.
We are indeed recording this on New Year's Day. And since last time we talked a bit about how Feminist Roosterteeth came into being, on how we all got into Rooster Teeth, I'd like our guests to talk a little bit about how they got into Feminist Rooster Teeth this time. Allie, if you'd like to start.
Okay, well, I actually had encountered Feminist Roosterteeth shortly after, I believe was the creation, because you had mentioned that you created it in response to Connect the Hots, and in the insanity of Connect the Hots, of like the whole mess that was happening in the tags, I happened to be checking the tags because I was tracking the Gavin Free tag at the time, and you had come up, and I was like, oh, wow. And I just kind of like brushed by it because I saw the URL and I thought it was just like a URL that you had come up with, but I didn't know it was like a very specific blog. And to be honest, like, I had come across the blog a couple of times in the tags, and I was just kind of like, I wouldn't really read what was the posting or anything like that, because I was a little bit like shaky because of all the fighting that was happening with everybody's different opinions on Connect the Hots. So I didn't really start looking into the blog until it started appearing a lot more frequently, and then it was like outside of the tags and on my dashboard, so I decided to give it a check. And I wasn't as well educated in feminism at the time, and it's like I basically just had like a crash course in like the last few months, and I started following after about a month or so of discovering Feminist Roosterteeth, and here we are.
Cool. And Sam, if you'd like to talk a bit about it, please.
I think I discovered your blog when Ray made the post with a screenshot of an ask that you had got, and I saw that somebody had posted that screenshot and was talking about how like gross it was. I think it was someone who I follow who writes fanfic, and I saw that and I went, oh, that's really cool, because I was really into feminism and I was really into Rooster Teeth at that time, and I still am. And so I checked out your blog, and I really was like, wow, this is all really stuff that I'm interested in, like, talking about. It's a really, really good blog, because it's, my two favorite things, feminism and Rooster Teeth, just, in one. And so I started following you then, and I've been following you since then.
And Hodgins, if you'd like to talk a bit about it, please.
I was all like, just like fucking gross Yogscast fan, please excuse me. I was like, wow, these guys are great, I love them. And then they made a really, like, in the podcast chess boxing and other holiday sports, they made an awful like rape joke, and I was like, okay, I'm done with these people, I'm not coming back. So I asked this Tumblr user, Thunder Humper, I think was the most recent URL.
Oh
great
God.
person, designs tattoos. Yeah, actually they're non-binary. Design tattoos, really cool, and they're like, oh, you should watch Rooster Teeth stuff. And then I went, and the very first thing was an awu on the thing, and that had a rape joke in it, and I was kind of like, so I was like, is there a Rooster Teeth community that is not like that? And then I found your blog, and I was like, yes. So I started, like, actually letting myself in, like, when you watch videos and you don't let yourself enjoy them because you're kind of like, it's so bad, but I want to like it, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my life sometimes.
Yeah, so it was like that, and then I was like, you know what, I'll just be a fan, and I'll be a critical fan. And then I was like, are there any Rooster Teeth people who are cool? And then you reblog the post for me, and I followed a bunch of people, and now I'm a fully fledged part of the fandom. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing. It's like, once that opens up the idea that you can be critical of something that you like, it makes things a little bit better, because it's like, you can still like the thing and be like, hey, that thing you just said was really fucked up, but I still love you for it, I still love you regardless. It's kind of like, it's like, I brought this up with Michael a while ago, in I believe it was a tiny chat, we were talking about it, and I was like, the whole thing is that you can't love something unconditionally forever, like, you'll love something, yeah, but I mean, at some point you're gonna realize that there's something pretty messed up about it. And it's like, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm not sure if this is the right metaphor to be using, but it's kind of like you have a friend and you love that friend. That friend is a great friend. But they say some kind of messed up things, so it's like you're not going to let that slide. You're going to be like, hey, that kind of is a really messed up thing for you to say. Can you kind of like think of like a different way of saying it, maybe? Because there are different ways. There are alternatives to saying something, you know? And
Yeah.
that's kind of like how I feel like it should be. And people should not automatically dismiss criticism as hate, because that's super
Yeah.
super super ignorant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people in the Rooster Teeth fandom go like, if you don't like it, well, don't watch it. It's like, well, we do like
Yeah.
it. We like it, and we talk about it. We're critical of it because we like it, and because we want other people to realize that because we like it, we want them to, better themselves and not be kind of gross.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's kind of like you can't
You know?
you can't just sit down. I'm pretty sure the people at Rooster Teeth would not want us sitting down and watching something if it makes us very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, they put so much work into what they do, and like they just, like, you can tell that every single person who works at that office works there because they enjoy it, you know? These are things that these people are so lucky to be doing, and they work so hard on it, and they make such great content, and I highly doubt they want us. They would, if they really thought about it, they would be like, oh, there are so many people who don't like our content because we are making one little mistake, you know? It's like, sorry, I'm bad with words.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good because I don't know how many people have come forward saying, I feel much better about being in the fandom, knowing that this blog exists, or this helps me be a fan. And that's really nice, because that's something that's really what I want out of as well as other things about being critical and about providing a safe space. I want people to be able to be a fan
Yeah.
and feel like they can be a fan without feeling downtrodden or beaten down by the rest of the fandom.
Yeah, that's the important like term to be using. Like, it's a safe space. It's a place where people can actually go and not feel like there's a bunch of assholes surrounding them being like, oh, well, if you're gonna fucking talk about like the fact that they said this and this and this, then you don't really fucking deserve to be liking this thing. And it's like, no, come on, like,
Yeah.
I want to like the thing, I enjoy the thing, but if they continue talking about a thing that triggers me, makes me feel uncomfortable, and also makes me feel like very 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 bad, like, shouldn't I be allowed
makes
to
me feel
call it-
unsafe.
Exactly. Shouldn't I be allowed to say something about it? And
Yeah.
the safe space allows someone to do that very thing without feeling like they're going to get mobbed.
Speaking of safe spaces, I'd like to give a little shout out to AH-TW, that's Achievement Hunter Trigger Warnings, because as far as I can see, they're doing a really good job of trigger warning some of the stuff. Rooster Teeth Content Warnings is also really great for that, but what I really like about AH Trigger Warnings is that they are really organised about it, and they have master posts and lists and all of that stuff, which is really helpful for people if they just want to go, I want to watch this video, does it have a trigger?
Yeah.
And they can also search by trigger as well, which is helpful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's AH-TW if you
You
want to
say
follow them.
H, or H, rather. Sorry.
Yeah.
Michael's
It's funny.
so British.
I'm the Britishest of the British.
You're slightly in the minority this time, because the last podcast we had Rue, and both of you are like super British, and then there was me and Wiz who were like super American. So it's like now this time, like, it's just you with your awesome accent.
I'm Canadian, so I'm kind of like Britain and America's love child. So I balance it out.
That's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cute.
you in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm American. We
Repping the Commonwealth.
pushed the British out many years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we dumped the
that's
tea.
too many years ago. We
Too
should
many.
Call for a
Yeah.
reform.
I actually like, because I have also been kind of dabbling in other fandoms recently, so I really got into Game Grumps, and in one of the Let's Plays, they mentioned like one of the Grumps mentioned that he had a friend whose grandma was born in, I think it was 1895, and died in 1995, and like she lived to see the internet, and it's just insane, because when you put that kind of thing into perspective, you start to think that even though it sounds like it's been a long time ago, some things really aren't that long ago.
Yeah, that's
things have
fucked
changed
up.
so much. Yeah.
So, but it's like that kind of thing puts it into perspective how long ago some things have been, and it becomes really surreal.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That fucks with my brain.
It's like you think about certain events happening in history, and because we've progressed so far as a society, and we're born in a different generation, you can't really imagine like, oh, it's like in the movies where they're in the future and they have like these things happening and they're kind of like, oh, cell phones, we use these headsets that are like holograms and that's how we talk to people. How do cell phones exist? And then you think about like, and they put it in the movies and we laugh at it, but we kind of do the same thing too, because we think about people using like, I don't know, like the telemarketers and
car
everything
phones,
like that. Yeah, and the brick phones and like shit like that. And it's like, wow, that actually was part of history, but we never experienced that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all babies.
Mm-hmm. This is not really relevant, but thinking of old people made me think of this. My friend's grandma is in the hospital, and she's fine and stuff, but it was like an emergency, whatever, she's fine, but my friend and his mom went to the hospital to see their grandma, and she made my friend's mom curl her hair when she was there because she didn't want the male nurse seeing her without her hair curled.
Oh my God.
So, like,
It's another one of those outdated things where it's like,
yeah,
you can't even believe like
Yeah.
people used to think like that or still do think like that. Mostly old people.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, you know,
It's
ridiculous.
adorable. That's so cute.
just like a leftover from an old time.
Yeah.
My friend Beth and I earlier were actually kind of talking about this because we were talking about how in the future technology is going to be way past what we know it today. And I was just like, so in 50 years, if we're still talking, we're going to be sitting here on a laptop and the younger people are going to be like, oh god, you old people, you're not keeping up with technology. Why don't you get it implanted in your brain like everyone else?
Oh man.
just implant the internet in your brain, because that's what's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to go in places that we don't even know, that we can't even imagine right now, and we're going to be like 80 and we're going to be like, I remember when we used to type.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And it's already sort of heading in that direction too, like with the Kinect, how you can like tell your like Xbox on, or like, you know,
Xbox
like all
off.
that thing.
Yes.
Xbox off.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But like it's with all that stuff, like, or like Siri, you've got all this like voice recognition stuff, and it's getting more and more advanced, and soon enough people aren't going to need to type anymore.
Face recognition, voice recognition.
Yeah. I personally like typing better because I don't like hearing other people what they're doing on the computer. It sort of just bothers me. So when my mom will be in the car and instead of asking me to type out her text, she'll just say it to her phone. I'm like, I would type that for you, really.
Even worse is when you have to try and is when you have to watch someone who's not good at type,
Oh.
and they're hunting out every letter, and you're like, let me do it for you.
Or when like you have like a Mac and they have a PC or whatever, and then like you're using the opposite type and you're like, the keyboard, the keys are too far apart, the keys are too close together, that's not where the shift key goes, I'm so confused, I've written blah 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 blah
Or
blah.
not even
Please
that,
help
like
me.
different computer models. When people have smaller computers, I have that's my biggest issue, because I got lucky and I got a 17-inch computer. So when I went from my 17-inch to my boyfriend's like 10-inch, 11-inch, and I was trying to type on it, I kept like typing and pressing the caps lock instead of like D, and I was like, what's happening? What's going on here? Why are the keys not over there? What is this, all this smallness on the computer?
I feel that.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to move between, I've got a really tiny tablet laptop, which like the screen flips around and becomes like a graphics tablet, for
cool.
art. And I've got a humongous gaming PC. And the size of the keyboard is so different that switching between them becomes a lot more difficult.
I think I like to laugh at myself when that happens, because you can see yourself fumbling, because you know you're used to the keys being in a particular spot, and then when your hand moves opposite and then it kind of like shrinks a little bit and like kind of contracts your space, you're like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to bring this up from earlier. If you ever watch movies or TV shows from like the 90s, and it's like you live through all these changes, but you don't remember a lot of them. Like the cell phone was a different thing 10 years ago, not even like 50 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And look at what we're using now. Like look what like almost a lot of people have is like the touch screen phones, the fucking phone that has the fingerprint recognition. Like what's going on?
Yeah, like I watched like through all of Buffy a couple of months ago, and it was exactly like that. It was like I was watching technology progress in a way that I knew had happened, but didn't really remember. Like in the beginning, they were using these old like desktop computers, and then Willow gets a laptop, and it's like
God.
that's the weirdest, dumb, really, really old laptop I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's like she's using like AIM, but like old AIM.
Oh my god.
It's like, oh my god.
Oh man. And then we still have like people who are like kind of like they still kind of use those kinds of things, and it's like it's a trip to use.
My mom uses AOL.
It's really cool. Oh my god, the what was it? The AOL startup sound. Where it's like the dial and then the static, the really loud static.
When was dial-up a thing?
Oh man, I remember dial-up.
Oh no.
I don't. I was born in 98. I have no idea what half the thing you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
it was horrible to use.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't know if you know much about it, but it would make these screeching noises.
Yep.
And it sounded like we were torturing a robot or something.
Yeah.
And
I remember when I was really little, like we couldn't use the phone and the computer at
Oh
the same
my
time.
god, yeah.
It didn't work like that.
Yeah.
I was like 5 or 6 at that point. No, even earlier. I was born in 96, so yeah, I was like, 4 and 5 when I couldn't use the phone and the computer at the same time.
Yeah, and it used to be that you had to pay per minute as well, like a phone call to get online. Yeah.
Man,
that
I feel old. I feel really, really old.
I feel old as well. I was born in 98, so I'm like...
I was born in...
88 rather.
Oh, I was about to say, like...
I was going to say, I was like, that's not that old.
Alright, so, if you guys don't mind moving along here, what kind of, do you guys, video game? Do you guys play any video games?
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally do. I've been playing a lot of Starbound lately.
Is it any
really...
good?
Yeah, it's really fun. It just crashes my computer all the time.
Oh, no.
My computer has a really shitty graphics card in it. Like, all sorts of games crash it if I play them, especially if I play them in full screen.
Oh, yeah.
So every couple of hours, my screen will just turn into, like, glitchy, gross effects, and then my computer just shut down.
Oh, man.
Oh. See,
It sucks.
I'm really interested. I've got it on my wish list, but I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games that intrigued me.
It's really fun. I'm having a lot of fun just exploring in the first sector, because I've been watching Zisto's Let's Play of it for a while. He's one of the Mindcrackers. And I really was interested in it. My friend bought it for me for Christmas. And I've been playing, and it's a lot of fun, but it's really hard to progress as fast as some of these Let's Players can do it, because they're like really, really good at the whole video game thing. And I'm not
I hear
as
that,
good.
and I'm terrible at them.
It took me like 4 tries of the GTA, like the first driving mission when Franklin and Lamar are like stealing the cars back, and it took me like 4 tries of the first checkpoint, and then 3 tries of the second checkpoint, and then 6 tries of the last checkpoint, and I'm not good at games.
Good job.
No,
Yeah. My brother had a 360 and it red ringed, so we don't have any consoles except for the Wii right now, so I'm mostly a PC gamer at this point.
Yeah, I'm the same way, because I do have an Xbox 360 and I love my Xbox 360, but I live with my parents because, for a lot of reasons. Mostly because I've got a part-time job, and partly because I help care for my brother and my uncle, who are both autistic. And so I never get access to the TV, which obviously my Xbox 360 is plugged into. So it actually got to the point where I have like Fallout 3 and the Orange Box and Oblivion and Fable and Overlord all on my 360. But I was just like, I never get to play them, so I just bought them all on Steam.
Yeah.
I love
I go
Fallout.
to a boarding school. So
Really?
I haven't been allowed to have my gaming PC with me at school, because my parents think that it's going to be a distraction to me. And I think they're going to let me bring it back with me after Christmas, or like after this break where I go back on Sunday. And I'm really hoping that they do, because none of my high quality art programs work on my laptop because my laptop's a piece of shit. So like I'm trying to use like Photoshop and it just doesn't work. But so I haven't been able to do much gaming over the year so far, though, I've also been, applying for colleges and stuff. And it really sucks because I feel like I'm falling behind in all these new games that everyone's getting, because I want to be playing them and I want to be playing like Minecraft and stuff, but I can't because my laptop doesn't run them more than 12 frames per second.
Oh, yeah. I feel you there.
So boarding schools are real?
Yeah,
and you
boarding
go to
schools
one?
are real. And I go to one. Yeah, it's called Walnut Hill School for the Arts. It's famous in the Boston area for the ballet school that they're part of, but I'm a visual artist. I do like painting, and I'm going into fashion design. So in the last week, I've sewn pretty much an entire ball gown, though mostly it's held together with pins at the moment. Yeah. I'm designing it for an anime convention that I'm going to. I'm cosplaying Trucy Wright from Phoenix Wright. And during the day, I'm going to be cosplaying Trucy, like normal Trucy. I'm going to be in a panel at Anime Boston as Trucy. It's a mock trial. It's going to be pretty fun. So at the formal ball, I decided to design my own dress based off of her costume and wear it as Trucy. So I've been doing that this week because I also want to put it in my portfolio when I apply to the colleges that I'm going to.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh, I'm jealous because I've always wanted to make my own cosplay. All the cosplay ideas I could ever do are really, really hard to manage because you actually have to, because I've done like Assassin's Creed cosplays, and that requires a lot of parts to it because you have to have like the right clothing and the hood and everything. And I got kind of lucky because the financial aid at the college that I go to gives like a refund for money, and I blew it all the time. So
ooh.
So let's talk a bit about New Year's and New Year's resolutions and New Year's plans or whatever. I have a few that I'd like to talk about because I want to do an Feminist Roosterteeth Minecraft server.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I would totally play on that.
Xbox or computer?
It'll be on the computer because I don't have it on the Xbox.
Oh yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, neither do I.
But I mean, it's a case of I have to find the software hosting that I want.
Yeah.
Not the software, the web hosting, because you can get server hosting for Minecraft. So I'll be doing that, and then I have to build it, or build out an outline of some kind, so that some people have some kind of direction when they come into it. But yeah, so that's.
If you'd like help on that, I can help you with that.
Yeah, I will be needing help on that, so I might take you up on that.
I have a friend named Olivier who runs his own server, and there's about 6 or so people who go on it, but we only have to pay, like, I think it's $2 a month each to cover it if we all pay equally. So with a lot of people, presumably because you have a fuck ton of followers, like, it would, honestly, you could ask for, like, a donation of $1 from everyone, and then you would have enough to, like, run for a year.
See, I ran a server for my friends, and my friends kept telling me that they would give me some money to help pay for it, but I ended up paying the $16 a month myself every single month anyways.
Oh my god.
So I had to shut it down because I couldn't keep paying that every month because no one was even playing on it because everyone had gone off to school, not bringing their computers that they could actually play Minecraft on. So I ended up shutting it down, but it was fun while it lasted.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm prepared to cover it at first because I reckon it's going to be about $10 a month, or maybe $15.
Depending on how many people you want on it, it could be more.
Well, I'm going to start it out at 20, I think, and then I can always go up if I need more. But basically, how it will work is that it won't be an open server, so people have to email me their Minecraft user. Well, not email. They'll have to send
it'll be whitelist. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be whitelist. Because obviously I've got a lot of haters, so I don't want people to just come and grief the place.
That's true.
The griefing has become a serious problem. I used to play when my computer actually used to work with Minecraft. I used to play, and I made this beautiful like Gryffindor themed house, and then I went home. I went to the server the next day, and it was obliterated. Like there was a crater in the ground where it used to be.
That sucks.
It was horrible.
Yeah, that's awful. I mean, there is, I think, if you get certain...
No Boom, for example.
Yeah, and also, I think you can get a thing where...
You can rewind it.
Yeah. So I'll look into that kind of thing as well.
Yeah, I think that's just a bucket server, server jar file instead of using... I I ran a server briefly. I don't know a ton, but I think that's like there's like certain server running mods that are really, really useful. There's a server that I play on called LinkyCraft or something, and the mods are generally like really, really good about like if you're like, wow, I've been griefed. Somebody came and took all the wood out of the bottom floor of my house, which happened last week.
Oh no.
They'll come back and like look at it, and they can see who the last person to edit that block was, and then they will ban them.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's pretty great.
The only thing is that running a bucket server I think is a little more expensive, but I'll see what I can do. And by the way, if anyone is listening to this and has good knowledge on how to run a Minecraft server, I'd really appreciate if they could get in contact with me and talk to me about it, basically. Because it'll be I've run a private server before for just me and my friends, which is where you just boot it up from your computer and play whenever that friend is around. But I haven't done one on a mass scale or through a hosting or anything like that before, so that would be useful.
Shout out to all the computer savvy people.
Yeah.
Anyone who can help with that would be really appreciated.
Michael, I wanted to mention that if you wanted to expand on that, like if people can't necessarily play Minecraft on the computer but can have it on the console, I have it on both the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So like if you want me to, I can create a server on the PS3, and I can make it private, so like it's only invite and only specific people can go. So I can manage that if you want me to.
That would be pretty cool. I think that would be cool for people who don't have it on the PC.
Yeah.
Definitely.
My New Year's resolutions are like, I really want to get better at drawing, even though that's not what I want to go into. I really feel like I don't practice enough, and I want to get better at sewing, even though I'm pretty decent at it already. So my resolutions are drawing every day and also getting over the breakup that I went through like 5 months ago, because I'm still not over it and I need to get over it.
Oh, breakups are rough though.
Yeah.
Mine are like, I don't know. I don't really have any real resolutions, or I mean, I didn't make them last night because, I don't know, I was just hanging out. But like, I guess one thing I'd probably like to do is study more, because I'm a piece of shit who doesn't study for shit. And
I feel
and I'm not getting very good marks in biology, and I want to go into biology, so that's probably my thing. But apart from that, be more gay is probably my resolution. Just do more gay things.
An excellent resolution.
That's a really
totally
really
attainable
awesome.
goals.
Yeah.
So many queer people in this podcast.
Yeah.
I can totally relate to you on the studying thing, because I basically got by high school by the skin of my teeth, basically. It was really, really difficult because I have a hard time focusing, I guess, and I have the worst time of it in college, especially because you have to sit down and listen to the teacher talk to you for about an hour, and that's not the way that I can learn. I can't just sit there and listen to them talk, because then I'll just fall asleep. So it's like I'd actually have to be doing something in the class, and some of my teachers were actually really good about that. They would have us like talk to the other students, like do some awesome guides, and they'd show on the board, and I'm like, yeah, now I'm learning. So that was a really tough thing. This is just my kind of like heart to heart telling you, I'm with you, man. Like, I know how it is to have to like just try to get through school when it's like you don't study, and it's kind of like a game of chance, sort of.
Another resolution that I have is to get into college. That's a big one.
College is good.
College,
got all my applications still needing to be filled out. Well, I filled out most of it, but essays.
Oh man, essays are like kryptonite to at least to me and most college students that I know. Essays are kryptonite, because it's why? I mean, I understand why, but at the same time, why? You know?
Yep, I feel that. I have to write all the applications and stuff. I've been writing all like the supplementary essays for the Common App and like all this stuff. And it's really annoying.
I had to apply because the original college I wanted to go to was this university in Orlando called Full Sail. It's very, very, very prestigious. It's like I've heard it was a good place to go for animation. And I had to apply for like a shit ton of scholarships, and I was like, okay, here's a scholarship for Hispanics, here's a scholarship for females, here's a scholarship for like students that are like living in Miami, here are scholarships for Floridian students, all that stuff. And then all of them like required essays, and I was just kind of looking at it like, okay, so how do I do this? I just kind of like stared down at the paper, like I basically was slamming my head on the table about the essays. And I wish they didn't exist. I wish I can burn all of them and just apply for the scholarships and wait for the response or whatever.
Yeah, see, that's an interesting difference between North America and the UK, because really we don't have to do much of that here. Basically what we do is we apply through UCAS. We applied to six universities, and through one application, and then we just have a sort of essay about why we want to do this subject, and then our teachers will write an essay about why we're awesome.
Oh
yeah,
man,
we have letters of recommendation like that too, but and like the Common App is really useful because I'm applying for I think 4 of my schools on the Common App. So I had to fill out one application and then just do essays for each individual school, except for like UMass Amherst because they didn't require an essay. But the worst thing right now is also like coming up with names for all of my art pieces for my portfolio. Because like most of my art, I don't give it a name, and suddenly I have to come up with a creative name for all of these pieces that I don't have a name for.
Yeah, I think that it's because it kind of like it teeters dangerously into calling it something really cheesy, like boy with face.
Yeah.
There is a tree with Christmas lights.
Or like
and
woman with dog.
like...
I named one of them woman with dog. Because I was just like, I don't know what to call this. But like some of them one of them I named something like hidden princess. It was like a mermaid underwater and stuff. It was like that was okay. That one didn't like I didn't mind that as much, but some of them I was just like, I don't know what to call this. I did this for class. Like I don't know.
It feels weird to like title it because it's like you have the work done and then you can just show it, and then you're just kind of like you're supposed to like name it, and then it kind of feels weird having to name it because it's like
it changes.
I don't know how to explain it. I had that a lot because from middle school to high school, because I had to provide some artworks too, and to get into the specific program that they needed, I had to name all of my artworks, and I was like 14 at the time, so I came up with super cheesy like names for all of my like drawings.
Oh man,
and it's weird.
Yeah. For most of my life, I wanted to be an illustrator, and like I've at this point, I don't want to be an illustrator anymore. I want to go into costuming. But I was showing my portfolio to a representative from RISD, which is one of the top design schools in the country, and I mentioned that I used to want to go into illustration, and she said something like, "I don't think you have a future there." Like she basically told me that I had no future in like my fallback, and I was like, "All right, okay." I mean, I like to think that I'm kind of okay at illustration, but, you know, whatever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's not helpful at all, is it?
Well, no, she gave me a bunch of other really helpful advice, but it was just, the way that she said it was just like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
well.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that problem a lot whenever I tell people what I want to become, which is an animator, and they're like, oh, like Disney? And I'm like,
no.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind of like a different kind of animation. And it's like, I looked into this a lot. Literally anywhere that you will look into animation, everybody will tell you that you will either become self-employed or basically be eating dirt because you'll be super poor.
Yep.
Because it's really, really hard to make it as, like, it's really hard to be an artist.
Yeah,
regardless.
I've noticed
if you don't have a government job or anything like that,
yeah,
you're basically gonna fail in the American economy.
Yeah.
It's really hard to try and work in crime without working with cops because they're pigs. So right now I'm hoping to work in a hospital, but like, yeah, there's no jobs that are morally sound in crime, really, except for maybe being a criminal. That is a good criminal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I suppose such a thing exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like Batman.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing goes for writing, really.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Writing is still an art. There's a writing major at my school, which is an art school.
Dude, I have a Bachelor of Arts in English with Creative Writing, so...
Fun.
It's kind of like everybody I ever told that, because I that was like a fallback idea. It's like when you bring that to somebody, you're like, oh yes, I'd like to be a writer, or I like studied literature and everything. Oh, so you're going to be an English teacher?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, what basically happened with me was I went to university to study history, And then I wasn't really that into it. I'm good at history because I'm good because it's basically a kind of storytelling in itself. So I'm good at it, but I wasn't really that into it. And so I changed over to I basically thought, well, if I'm gonna do a useless degree in something that's probably gonna end up with me teaching, I may as well do English because I'm good at it and I like it. And so I did that instead. But you know, I mean, the thing is that I'm good at writing. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but I am. I'm pretty good at it. And
Beep beep.
yeah. But it's so difficult to get anywhere with it, especially when you're not particularly motivated. And for a lot of time, the last couple of years, all of my focus has been basically on transitioning and stuff like that. And now that I'm kind of over that, it's difficult to get back into the writing thing. That's another thing I want to try and do this year, is to write more. But it's difficult, and it's even more difficult now that I'm more into the social justice stuff, because before I could just write and not really think about it, but now everything I write, that I have to think about what the implications are behind it.
That makes sense. And I mean, I'm still sort of at the beginning of my transition. I haven't gone on hormones or anything, and I haven't really looked into much about surgery besides like sort of learning a little bit about it. But I hope to get on hormones soon. Like, I have a appointment with an endocrinologist like later this month, which is exciting because I'm excited to transition. But also, like, I'm spending a year in Israel next year on a gap year program. And I'll have started hormones like 6 months before that, and I don't know how that's going to work, but hopefully it'll turn out okay. And I'm a little bit afraid that, like, my transitioning will put sort of my goals for the future on sort of the back burner while I transition. And I don't really want that to happen, because I do want to continue with what I want to do while I transition, but I don't know how well that's going to work.
I mean, to be honest with you, from my experience, the most focused you are on transitioning is when you're pre-transition and you're coming up to it. So but that's my experience. Obviously it doesn't go for all trans people, but for me, I was most focused on and it was most interfering with my life when I was at your stage. And it does get a bit difficult in the middle there, and I imagine it's going to be more difficult I don't know what your healthcare system is like regarding trans people, because obviously ours is pretty good and it covered it completely for me. But,
jealous.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's got really good health insurance because he works for Google. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Google's awesome. I've totally been to their San Francisco offices.
Yeah.
Amazing. Anyway,
I like to hang out in the Cambridge office, which is in Boston area, because it's really cool. That's cool. And so, like, yeah, my dad works at Google, so I've got some really good, like, healthcare. I've got a lot of really good, like, a really good coverage for a lot of it. It doesn't cover all of it, but it covers most of it.
Well, I mean, if you ever have any questions about the more physical side of it, feel free to come to me, because obviously I've been on hormones, as you can tell by my voice, and I've had top surgery, and I'm not going to go for bottom surgery. But if you have any questions, I can't really talk to you about the legal side or the
that makes sense. I just have one question, quick, just that occurred to me. What happens if you miss an injection, or like if you miss something? Do you get like muscle pain, or like? Is there medical side effects that, like, you can feel if you miss an injection?
Well, the thing is that I'm on a different thing to what you might go on to.
Are you on the patch?
No, I'm on Nebido, which is it's an injection that happens every 10 to 12 weeks.
Oh, that sounds really nice, actually.
Yeah, it's really good, because what it does is it keeps you steady. It's a steady hormone rather than an up and down kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the idea is that it's a slow release kind of thing, and it keeps your hormone levels steady rather than.
That's sort of what I was hoping to get on the patch, changing it every day, keeping it pretty steady.
I mean, if I do go, I'll tell you now that I know when I'm due one, and if I do go with that too long without getting one, I can feel it and I know about it. Like if I'm due one, I start feeling really down. Okay. And then I know, I must be due a shot, and then I go look, and it's always pretty much that. So.
Okay.
But I mean,
I was just curious, because my dad is worried that I'll, like, forget to change my patch one day, or that, like, something will happen and that I'll end up getting really sick because I've, like, missed a day.
That
And
isn't
I
gonna
assured him
happen.
that won't happen, but he was still worried about it.
No,
I think either way, I think that should be something that you should consult with whatever doctor you might be working with at the time.
the endocrinologist, yeah, but I wouldn't look. It's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen to you if you miss anything. You can come on and off it, okay?
Yeah.
The only real issue is if you have a hysterectomy and then you stop taking hormones, you're then at risk with bone density issues.
Yeah.
That's
And I
your
did know
risk.
that. I did remember that, yeah. But that should be the only concern, and that makes me feel pretty good. All right.
I mean, other than mood swings and mood concerns and stuff like that, and dysphoria and stuff like that, it's not you're not going to come to any physical harm if you miss a day, or if you miss a week, or if you miss a couple of months even.
All right. That makes me feel a lot better. Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Back to New Year's resolutions. My second one that I couldn't remember earlier was that I might be starting up some Let's Plays now that I've got my new mic, because my big thing that was holding me back on that was how shitty my old mic was. So I've got a new mic and I might do it. I've already got fraps and stuff from ages ago. You might see some of those in the future. I'm not really sure whether to put it on the Feminist Roosterteeth YouTube, or whether I will put it on my own YouTube. So that's going to be something that I'm going to have to make a decision on and decide what I want to do with that.
I
But
think
yeah.
I think you definitely should not do Let's Plays on the FRT one, because you would be affiliating yourself with a copyrighted thing, and if you ever wanted to monetize it, or if you wanted to make t-shirts, or if you wanted to even like have a sponsor of any sort, you wouldn't be able to, because you wouldn't want to impeach on the FRT or the RT like kind of domain. So
yeah, see, that's the thing that I've been thinking about regarding it, because at the moment it would just be for fun and I wouldn't want to do anything with it, and also it's not going to be regular enough to do anything with it, because obviously I've got a job, I run Feminist Roosterteeth, I do the podcast, we do the tiny chats, I'm thinking of doing the server. I don't see me doing it on a regular schedule, so there's that too, but I also don't want to cut it off in the future in case it does become something, so I probably will be something that I post on my own channel.
Yeah.
But so that's something to look out for that I might be doing or not.
That's really exciting, man. Let's Plays are super exciting. That's something I've been working on my own, sort of with my group of friends. We have like our own little group name, and we always talk about doing Minecraft Let's Plays and doing like computer Let's Plays and all that stuff. But we can't really afford like sort of some of the technology that it requires, because we do have ideas, but it's all on the console. So it's like we require the capture
fucking
card.
$300 capture cards. Oh my god. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Obviously, it's really cliche,
That's pretty
but
ridiculous.
It's obviously it's kind of cliche, but I would like to do Let's Plays too, and I've recorded a few, but I've decided that I'm gonna make a big back catalog of them. So if I ever decide to release them, I can release them on a regular schedule for at least a while. But
Yeah. I sometimes do live streams, but I don't really do much Let's Play, like recording, editing, posting on YouTube. I like just stream while I'm playing, and if any of my friends show up, they show up, which sometimes doesn't even happen. Like I'll be streaming for like 3 hours and none of my friends will ever come in.
Speaking of live stream, I was on Ray's live stream the other day when he was playing Super Mario Bros. Wii U, and he answered my question, and I was like, oh my god, it was really excited.
He's been I've only managed to pop into a few of those because they're on pretty late for me, but he's been such a sweetheart about it.
He's so nice.
There have been a few problematic moments, but honestly I'm willing to forgive him for it because he's just been so sweet, and he's so awkward as well. I mean, he tries not to be, but there's just this awkwardness there, and it makes me just love him, even though I kind of...
Once he had to go get the mail during it, and that's what I asked him. I asked him what he got in the mail, and he said nothing, but he had to mail out his mom's package. He like ran back. You could tell that he was like panting when he came back because he didn't want to be gone too long. It was really sweet.
Oh, he's such a sweetheart.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, he really does like care about everybody. He really does, and there's nothing more obvious about it, you know.
Well, except when he doesn't.
Yeah,
I was about to say, except when he's a piece of shit, really don't.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about the Let's Plays is that because I do the Humble Bundle all the time, I have a bunch of like really out there games that not many people will probably play, so there's that. The bad news is that I have a shitty laptop, so there's only so far I could go.
That's always the holdback, like the technology involved into putting together like a project like that, so putting together the Let's Plays and everything. It's so frustrating.
It really is, and
It's
also
like-
I have absolutely zero editing experience, so I'll have to
Yeah.
find a decent editing
Yeah.
software that's free that I can download and edit things on, and that'll be fun.
Well,
Trying to learn all that.
Yeah.
Assuming you have a PC, since you have fraps, there's so many more for PCs than Mac. I'm a fucking idiot who has a Mac and tries to fucking record shit on it, but no, it's...
Editing, I must say, as someone, I'm taking an intro to filmmaking class, editing is the worst thing. It takes so long to go through all of your footage,
Yep.
especially if you've taken more footage than you need. Like, I'm not doing Let's Plays, but, like, we'll record a scene for a short film that we're making, and we'll record it from a couple different angles, and then you just have to sit there and watch through it time after time after time to make sure you're using the right parts of the right footage, and it's just awful. It sucks.
Yep. I've been doing editing for, I mean, not necessarily like editing certain videos. I do like sort of like like anime music videos and stuff like that. I've been doing that for like years, and you get sick of something pretty quickly when you're editing it.
Oh, yeah.
It's really easy to get
Absolutely.
sick of it.
Yeah, my sister wants to be either an editor for, like, writing shit, or she wants to be an editor for videos, or she wants to be a museum curator, which all seem like the most tedious jobs in the world. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of.
that's what makes me so angry about people who say that they're the achievement hunter guys just sit there and do nothing all day.
They
I'm
really
like,
don't.
do you realize how much effort goes
No,
into
man.
putting the editing?
Yeah. I gained a lot of respect for them when I started doing all this editing stuff for my class, because I'm like, this is ridiculous how much work these guys do, because
Yeah.
I've been doing so much editing for so long, and I hate it, and that's just like an hour or two a day. And these guys, this is kind of their job, is they edit basically all day. All of them do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really and that's what makes me really annoyed when people say, oh, well, you don't want them to censor themselves, you know, they can't do that.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, they have to choose to put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in a stream, I don't remember. I believe it was Caleb. And people were asking him stuff like about Achievement Hunter and everything. And then somebody had asked him, do they literally just play video games all the time? And he goes, okay, this is what a week in the office goes like. They will have total silence 4 days out of 5. And then there's that one day where you will literally hear them screaming all the time. And then he's like, that one day is when they're recording. And then all the other days in the week is them editing. And it was something like that. Not to like super quote it. That's what I remember him saying. But it's like, you have to consider they've been playing a game for like something like the Minecraft Let's Plays can go on for 2 to 3 hours, and they edit that down to half an hour to 1 hour. So that requires a lot of cutting. Plus, it's 6 screens at once.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and also there's the logistics of recording, because obviously whilst they're recording in the office, everyone either has to clear out of the office, or they have to be quiet. So
Yeah.
so that must be difficult as well. I mean, I think everyone just has to leave when Michael does his rage quits.
Yeah, I mentioned...
Yeah.
I remember Michael mentioning once that rage quits are like hour and a half long recordings cut down to like 7 minutes and shit. And I was just like, imagine that. I'm pretty sure I'd blow out my voice with 7 minutes of yelling, let alone like an hour and a half. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He does it after hours.
Yeah.
When everybody's already left the office.
When only Monty's there.
He finds it really difficult as well, I think. I mean, I think he mentioned it before that he finds it really draining.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Which I don't
there's
blame
that
him for.
argument with Gavin when Gavin was like, why don't you just record like 6 Let's Plays or 6 rage quits in a day? And he was like, God, Gavin, you don't understand me. Rage quits are draining. Sorry, that was my bad.
I mean, he's been doing rage quits for like a year now, so you can imagine putting together however long it was for each rage quit into a whole year. That's a year of screaming. That's like how many ever hours of screaming, and all of these episodes of rage quit, and he still does it. And it's like, I'm really surprised that he's not like hoarse at this point.
Yep.
But he's always, even not even just in the rage quits, in the Let's Plays, he's always screaming too. So you can imagine, like, he blows out his voice very frequently. So
yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would be so sick of it. So I don't blame him if he is. Not saying that he is, but I don't blame him if he was.
Yeah.
I've like been spending like the last like 15 minutes also trying to recall any sort of resolutions, like serious resolutions, because Michael made that post on Tumblr and I was like, become a Khaleesi.
Yes, I saw that.
Become the full-fledged Khaleesi. And then it started making me think about a post that I had between my friend and I, because they mentioned, I posted up a picture of my boyfriend and I, and I got an anon ask saying, is that John Green? And
Oh my God.
started laughing so hard, because I'd seen John Green, but then I could like sort of picture him, but all I see was like my boyfriend's face. So then I googled John Green to show my boyfriend so he could see who he was, and I started crying because I was laughing so hard. 'Cause they look exactly the same.
Oh no, maybe you're dating John Green. Maybe you're dating John Green.
I'm dating John Green. And then not even just that, I started laughing even harder because my friend said, aren't you Bertie Burns? So I was like, Bertie Burns is dating John Green. It was the greatest
That's
moment
beautiful.
in history.
Yeah, we're super honoured. We have Bernie Burns on our podcast with us today.
Yeah, I just for anybody who didn't tune in to the last podcast, I am Bernie Burns, and we came to the conclusion that I must be Bernie Burns and Michael pointed this out, you've never seen Bernie Burns and me in the same room together.
It's
so
true. I've never seen you
true.
at all.
Logically.
And voice editing software is absolutely available, and I wouldn't blame Bernie Burns if he wanted to lower his voice after we've been subjected to his real voice today.
I know what my voice is capable of. I know that I basically sound like what it sounds like if you were to like strangle a chicken or something like that.
Oh man, me too.
Yeah.
I just got my tarot reads. Is that how you pronounce it?
Tarot.
Like tarot cards?
Oh,
Tarot.
Yeah, it's tarot, yeah.
Tara.
By a Tumblr user, Gay Thranduil. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'll link you later and you can put it in the description or whatever, or in the link dump if that exists, but probably not.
There will be a
it's
link dump, yeah.
Okay, but I was wondering if I could read it because it looks cool.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Past, Reverse Queen of Pentacles. This card strongly relates to home, family, and mothering, and when reversed can mean that you need to focus more on nurturing yourself and other people, but since it appeared in your past, I'm thinking it refers to having lacking nurturing as a younger person. The Queen of Pentacles is a woman with dark hair, so that might be significant as one of your parents. That's my mom. My mom is a woman with dark hair. That's cool. But she's really pale because we're white fucks, so yeah. And then the present card was you got reversed 4 cups for this, which in relation to the first cards mean that you are beginning to move into a part of your life where you can be more enabled to love yourself and others. The universe is sending strong signals that nurturing yourself is very important, and if you keep that in mind, you'll make progress in your life. Future, 2 of Cups. Your friendships and partnerships are going to be really important this year. With the other cards, I think this means that through your strong friendships or partnerships with people who are important to you, you'll be able to get better at nurturing people and helping yourself. You may even be able to connect with your spiritualities in some way this year too. So I got this reading done for $1 to help pay for someone's top surgery fund. So I just wanted to plug it because it's really cool and really interesting and definitely pretty accurate. So I just thought that was cool. Yeah.
Okay.
That is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's super neat, and we'll put that in the link dump so people can access it themselves if they want to.
Yep.
Oh, also for the link dump, could we put in a link to a picture of the dress that I'm making? Is
Absolutely,
that a thing we could do?
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
In the link dump, if you're amenable to it, I'll be putting in your Tumblrs and that, and also whatever else is mentioned in the podcast.
Definitely.
Yep.
It's a good idea.
The tarot. The tarot.
Yeah,
tarot,
right?
right?
Tarot.
That sounds like that's always really interested me since I was a little kid because like I've heard of it and then I could never. I've always been super. I guess it's kind of like a future kind of thing, and the kind of like reassurance that you can get from any sort of like reading that you can get is very, very, very. I don't know what word to use. It kind of like applies to me a little bit because it eases the fears a little bit, and not only that, it's just incredibly interesting. The whole idea behind it.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible to me. It really is.
I have a friend named Tara who reads tarot, so it's kind of cool, but yeah, but she's really good at it, and it's kind of just amazing to like see her, like, to be able to look at these cards and they have like a picture and the picture means something, but she's able to dig so much by the combinations of different cards you get and stuff. It's really cool and really interesting. And trigger warning death, my mom went to a tarot card reader when she was younger, and the cards predicted the death of her friend's boyfriend, and then it actually happened like a few months later. It was so weird.
Oh my
That's
god.
creepy.
Mm-hmm. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never
Wow.
too interested. I mean, I used to have tarot cards when I was a kid, but I wasn't I found it interesting, but not as interesting as I found astrology. Which well, I mean, astrology, not, I hope I don't offend anyone by saying I think it's still a crock of bullshit, but it's really fun to think about, and I really love making characters and then giving them astrological signs. I love doing that.
I love making Sims and then giving them astrological signs.
I love doing that as well.
I'm glad they
I love making
that.
Sims and then shutting them inside of a room and letting them die.
So you're basically Ryan then. Bernie Burns
But
and Ryan Hayward.
Yep. I mean, come on. Logic here.
No, I like
You've
to make...
never seen me in the same room as Ryan or Bernie.
It's
so.
true. My way of playing The Sims is I make, like, one person who's a young adult, and then I'm sure everyone else plays it this way, but, like, young adults, then they get their lifetime wish, then they finish their career cycle, then they learn painting or writing and get really good, like, at both of them, and get, you know, either they get level 10 painting or level 10 writing, and they get a lot of money from that, and then they find love, and then they die in a tragic fire because I'm tired of them, and then their adopted kid dies in a tragic fire later because I'm tired of them, and it just keeps on going and going. That's how you play The Sims.
Okay, so if we want to start wrapping this up now, is there any other New Year's resolutions that anyone would like to speak about?
I do have one that I wanted to talk about. I guess mine is a little more personal because I had a hard time last year. I had to leave my neighborhood that I've been living in for like the last 20 years because we lost the house, and then we had to move out, and then we had to move out again. So I'm living at the current place that I'm living at right now, and just a lot of like personal things kind of piled up on me. So I kind of didn't cope with it well, and I didn't let myself cope with it well. So I guess mine is sort of just be more positive and take things as they come, and not like let things pile on me as easily as I did last year. So yeah.
That sounds like a really good one, and I think that a lot of people could easily take to heart. Okay, we'll just wrap up now. If anyone wants to plug their Tumblrs or plug anything, now is the time to do it. Allie, do you want to plug anything?
I mean, my Tumblr has been mentioned before, so if anybody hasn't tuned in from last episode, my Tumblr is Allie Khaleesi, which is Allie, ALLIE, and Khaleesi, KHALEESI.tumblr.com, and you can reach me there anytime that you guys just want to bug me or just see fandom stuff all over the place. So yeah, or it's just a mass shit of like fandom shit. So yeah.
Okay, and Hodgins, would you like to plug anything at all?
Yeah, my Tumblr is Advanced Fungus, which is the word advanced followed by the word fungus, .tumblr.com, and then my fashion blog, which is a shopping blog, is manintanjacket.tumblr.com, which is manintanjacket. All these are all one word. And then my forensics blog is _-enzics, ENCI. Nope, I fucked up.
It will be in the link up anyway. You don't need to spell it. So it's fine.
All right, my apologies then. Yeah, forensics, manintanjacket, and advanced fungus. That's me.
Sam, would you like to plug anything?
My Tumblr is sassytail with a dash in between that. No, without a dash. I took the dash out. Never mind. So it's just sassytail, all one word. And I mostly blog about a lot of Rooster Teeth stuff, obviously, and fashion and cosplay, and a lot of Ace Attorney.
Awesome. And all those will be available in the link dump. And I'm obviously Feminist Roosterteeth, and you can reach me at feministroosterteeth.tumblr.com or feministrt on Twitter, or you can email me feministroosterteeth@gmail.com. thank you for listening to the Feminist Roosterteeth podcast. We'll be here the same time next fortnight. And also, please don't forget to tune into the Tiny Chat, which the next one will be on the 11th of January. And I will be holding this one this time, I promise. I won't cancel it.
Woo.
Okay.
Thanks
Alright,
for
thank
tuning
you for
in.
listening,
Bye.
and
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye, friends.
Bye.